Texas Baseball Countdown. I am Chuck McIntyre. He is Hector Ledesma, and welcome to our show. Tonight, the Rangers opening up a series against the Kansas City Royals, trying to throw a wrench in their playoff plans. On the show this evening, though, we will chat with Astros skipper Bo Porter, and we will do a best of for this week's Random with the Rangers.
The Rangers coming off a short.
A lot of fight in the Rangers over the last week or so, and they're going to really need to step up their game tonight because it's time now for our Texas Orthodontics projected starting lineup. First, for the visiting Kansas City Royals. Hector, this team isn't red hot. They are white hot. I mean, they're destroying everybody in their wake, and if you look up and down this lineup, Aoki, Butler, Gordon, Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, these guys have been absolutely on fire over the last 2 months or so, and it's been no surprise as to why the Royals are playing as well as anybody in the entire American League. I mean, everybody expected these guys at some point to get good. Their pitching kind of kept them afloat for the first part of the year. Right now, though, everything is clicking for the Royals, both with hitting, starting pitching, and on the bullpen and defense.
And it's funny, I
had Billy Butler on my fantasy team earlier in the year, and he was hitting like 200, so I got rid of him, and now he's up to 282. So that'll tell you, first of all, what a lousy fantasy league manager I am, and secondly, how hot he's been of late. Now for the Rangers, as we said, they've done a really nice job battling this week. Shin-Soo Choo starting to swing it a little bit. Elvis Andrus having a nice bounce-back year. Rios, Beltre, we could go up and down the list. I think what's interesting, Hector, about what the Rangers were doing behind the scenes this week is that some of these guys, Andrus, Beltre, Yu Darvish, the starting pitcher, these guys have cleared waivers. So we don't know if the Rangers, they now have an opportunity to trade these guys if they want to. And you have to wonder which guys on the roster now that we've looked at over the years with the Rangers, are they going to even be there for next year?
Yeah, you heard something with...
Especially Darvish, because he's not making an exorbitant amount of money based on a guy who really is an ace of his staff. And Beltre, even though he's making $15 million a year, I mean, that's the cornerstone of your franchise and a true professional. I just don't see them moving either one of those guys, but hey, we'll see. All right, it's going to bring us to our IPAC marquee matchup of the night. Let's go with the catchers in this ball game. And we specifically did not talk about Salvador Perez of the Royals, but what an unbelievable talent this guy is. A big hitting catcher in the middle of your lineup. This guy, no doubt, one of the best backstops in all of baseball. And then no matter who the Rangers have run out there at catcher this year, they've done a really good job. We're singling out Chirinos tonight, but hey, Giovanni Soto, even though he's been banged up, has done a nice job when he's been in there. J.P. Arancibia hasn't played a lot of catcher, but since he's been recalled from the minors, is doing a great job swinging the bat. So really, considering all the injury problems and everything that's gone wrong with the Rangers this year, they've actually gotten quite a bit of mileage out of that position. All right, we're just getting started here on Texas Baseball Countdown. Up next, we're going to give out our Texas Star of the Week for the Rangers. And later on the show, when we talk about the Astros, Hector's going to chat with Bo Porter, the Astros manager. That and a whole lot more straight ahead.
Kind of goes to show you what kind of a level he's playing at right now.
3 or 4 years ago, as he was making his way through the Texas League, there was a lot of hope and a lot of promise for this kid that he would be an everyday major league outfielder. And you've kind of seen flashes over the last few years that that might be the case. And I remember seeing him in spring training a couple years ago thinking, I think the power's going to come with this guy too. But he gives you a little bit of everything. He plays the heck out of center field. He swings the bat for average. And to me, I'd like to see him even bunt more because he's an outstanding bunter. And again, I think the power is going to come as he gets older. And I think he's one of those guys that is going to be an everyday player for the Rangers, and I hope they keep him around because he looks like he's one of those guys, if you just leave him alone, kind of let him simmer and percolate a little while, I think he's going to be just fine.
And he's getting the opportunity.
All right, as you probably know by now, it's been a really rough year for the Rangers, but it has not taken a toll on the team's sense of humor. Here are some of the better clips we've run this year in tonight's Team Express Random with the Rangers segment. Best Halloween costume you ever had?
Batman.
Batman? 1 year in college, I dressed up as Mike Tyson, and I kind of had my roommate paint on the tattoo on my face and everything, and I wore like a fake gold tooth. It was pretty funny.
A gorilla suit.
Just Ron Washington in his street clothes.
I was Jason.
Flavor Flav.
Would you ever consider wearing the number 13?
No.
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 Nah, I'm more of like a 10, an 8, and 46.
You like Toy Story 1 or Toy Story 2 better?
Toy Story 1.
I would say 1.
Toy Story 2.
2, definitely 2.
Toy Story 1 and 2.
Which Texas Ranger do you think, guys that you've met so far, would make the best reality TV show guy?
Elvis.
Colby Lewis.
Albert Andrew. Albert Andrew, no doubt.
Best baseball movie of all time?
The Natural.
Okay.
Major League. Major League.
We'll go Bull Durham.
Sandlot for me.
Still more to come on Texas Baseball Countdown. Up next, we're headed east on I-10 to catch up with the Astros. Who's their player of the week? And our Bo Porter interview right after this. Mr. Fowler on, Chuck. They expected a lot of big things from him, and, you know, he's delivered.
No, he has when healthy, and that's been the problem, is staying on the field. He had this problem last year, and then he's had that problem this year, and he really has, when he's gotten a chance to play, he's done a really nice job. When we were in Houston, you know, we were talking to some of the Houston reporters, though, and they said he's kind of been the guy, though, that will duck the media, and some of the younger players have kind of taken their cues from him. So, you know, Dexter needs to watch that kind of stuff, too, because as a veteran player, the young guys are going to look at that. And, you know, yeah, it's tough to go out and face the media every day when you're not winning a whole lot of ball games, but, you know, hey, it's part of being a professional.
That's a good trivia question.
We'll get on that.
Okay, thank you.
Hector, great stuff with Bo Porter, and it's interesting to watch him as a manager because you would think right now it's got to be easy to be Bo Porter being the manager of the Astros. They're winning games. They've scored more runs than any team in baseball since the All-Star break, but then yet last week, a player anonymously comes out and then basically drills the Astros GM, Jeff Luhnow, and says, he's just a bean counter, he's a numbers guy, he doesn't really look at us as human beings, he looks at us as a number. And so Bo Porter's got to come out and put the fires out. So, you know, it's not always easy sledding being the manager of a major league team.
Yeah, I also got to...
And I think he will be, because I think he's proven he can manage. And then, you know, you're right. I think once these guys get good, they're going to stay good because they've got some really young, nice pieces. Up next, back to tonight's Rangers game against the Royals. We got keys to victory and our Max Sports Power Rankings when we come back. Welcome back. Royals and Rangers coming up right after our show is done here. But before we get to that, time for some Northside Forward keys to victory. And here's Hector Ledesma to take it away.
All righty.
Alrighty, Max Sports Power Rankings time, and just a few subtle changes again this week from last week. And coming in at number 10, we have the Seattle Mariners still playing pretty solid baseball. And then the St. Louis Cardinals at number 9, so a little flip-flop there. The Detroit Tigers, again, we talked about their bullpen woes last week. They've dialed it up a little bit this week, but still they come in at number 8. The Los Angeles Dodgers at number 7, we dropped them down a little bit. They've been kind of up and down over the last couple of weeks or so. We got the Kansas City Royals, tonight's opponent, moving all the way up to number 6 for all the reasons that we've already ballyhooed for the better part of this show. Already coming in at number 5, the Milwaukee Brewers. Got a chance to see them a couple of times this week against the Toronto Blue Jays, Hector, and man, very impressive. Those guys not only getting great pitching, but they really are grinding out at bats and really look solid right now. The Brewers definitely on an uptick. Speaking of which, how about the Washington Nationals? Those guys are winning every single game in sight of late, and we've been waiting for this to happen kind of all year. The Nationals now are running away with their division. They are as hot as the Royals, playing as well as anybody in baseball right now. We got them all the way up to number 4. And then these are some familiar faces, 3, 2, and 1. The Orioles still look rock solid. The A's not playing really well of late, but still have a great win-loss record. And you wonder, Hector, what's going on with these guys? They've stopped swinging the bats since they traded for all those pitchers and traded Cespedes to Boston, and you wonder how much it's really affecting that team with him out of the middle of their lineup. And then the Angels, wow, they trade for some relief pitching, and look at them. We got them at number 1 for the first time all year. All righty, when we come back, it's our Nuts About Sports clip of the week. We'll get you out to the ballpark right after this. That's what happens sometimes. Alrighty, folks, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up next, it's the Royals and Rangers from Globe Life Park in Arlington. Steve Busby and Tom Grieve have the call. For Hector Ledesma, I'm Chuck McGinnick. Enjoy the ball game, and we'll see you next Friday night right here on KCWX.